I like Nintendo, like many other kids. I only played Nintendo consoles and games ever since I was a youngin'. They had me hooked on the Mario juice, and all I could say was, "Oh yes, Daddy!" But then, I did what all Nintendo fans failed to do. I grew up, got old, and as I was changing, so was Nintendo. Nintendo fell from grace over the years, or maybe they just showed their true colors. I still believe the Wii was the peak of Nintendo quality. If that is a hot take, please don't harass me on Twitter about it. With the Wii came Wii Connect 24, a 24-hour Wi-Fi service that came free with the Wii. You could buy new games, check the weather, check the news, run polls and get votes, check out other people's Miis, watch game trailers, send voice messages, and play Mario Kart Wii tournaments worldwide. And it all worked great. Great memories looking at new releases from the Wii shop and watching Nintendo Week with Gary and Allison. Does anyone remember that show, Nintendo Week? I tuned in every week to see Gary and Allison talk about new games, and then Dark Gary would show up sometimes. It's a really underrated show. Compared to the online service of Nintendo now, it is just sad. The pitiful Switch online service. Do you want DLC for games you haven't played since they launched? Get Switch Online. Do you want to play legacy Nintendo games from a limited library that you couldn't beat? Get Switch Online. Want a bunch of other shit you don't want? Get Switch Online. Nintendo has lowered themselves to the competitors' level of greed. Only $50 a year. Even the Nintendo physical product has degraded into a primitive state, but saying that would mean that early Nintendo physicals were bad. As a side note, I'll be referring to past Nintendo as up until Wii era Nintendo, and present Nintendo is Switch up until the present. Pre-Wii era physicals came with a game case, a disc or cartridge, space for a memory card, a thick game manual with lots of game information, and the occasional promotional and safety inserts. They were a complete package. But Switch games, oh dear lord. There's a saying,
simplicity is the ultimate sophistication.
But there is nothing sophisticated about this.
Well, let's just go ahead and check out The Legend of Zelda, see what's inside. Really?
A plastic case and a chip. That's all you get. To make matters worse, Nintendo shows their hatred for the customers by making the Switch cartridge taste bad. GameCube discs and N64 cartridges could be licked to your heart's content and taste great. Another thing that Nintendo ruined and lowered themselves to their competitors' level of laziness. The problem here is not so much that Nintendo has abused the community, but more that the Nintendo community allows the abuse. Every single bad, useless, or redundant thing that Nintendo gives to its loyal fanbase, they just take it with the energy of, "Oh yes, Daddy!" Copy and pasted anime characters to Smash? They want it. Restrict Smash Melee players from running tournaments? They like it. Degrade the hardware and software of their consoles? They crave it. You would think the loyal Nintendo fanbase has a humiliation or degrading fetish, the way they just accept all this nonsense from the company. Even worse is when it comes to fan games and emulation. I was lucky enough to get my hands on AM2R, a Metroid fan game, and it was amazing. Until Nintendo shut it down, with almost every other Nintendo fan game to exist. And any attempt to emulate Nintendo games is struck down. Despite that, emulation helps people who can't afford or find old Nintendo games and play them with better graphics, controls, and frames. But it's a good thing Nintendo is stopping some random Brazilian teenager from emulating Mario Party 2 on his 2008 HP laptop. Very brave of you, Nintendo. It's for these reasons and more, I am not a Nintendo fan anymore. I relinquish my alliance. And if any of you feel the same, I encourage you to join the dark side with me, where we have every Nintendo game you can emulate that you want, where our Wiis are homebrewed so you can access the Weather Channel and community mods, where you can revitalize your old consoles with fan tools to increase accessibility of old games to new players. Join us on the dark side. We have Twinkies.